Students, I welcome all of you once again. As you know, in the last lecture, we had already started with lesson number 3, diversity in living things and their classification. Let's revise once again whatever we have learnt in the last lecture. First of all, we learnt about the meaning of diversity. What is the meaning of diversity? The differences among the plants and the animals which are found around us. So there are different variety of the plants and the animals which are present around us. So the differences among the animals and the plants, we call it as what? Diversity. Okay. And one more concept we have learnt in the last lecture, that is the typical structure of the plant. We had already learned that there are basically 5 organs which are present in the plants. Which are they? Root, stem, leaves, fruit and flower. And the function of each and every part we had learnt in detail already. Let's revise once again very quickly. As you know, roots helps the plant to absorb the water and mineral from the soil. Then stem provides the protection to the plant. It acts as a backbone of the plant. After that, fruit. Okay, fruit stores the food material which is prepared by the leaves. Leaves helps the plant to prepare the food with the help of the photosynthesis. So whatever food is prepared by the leaf, it will be stored by the fruit. Okay, and you can see the flower. Flower is the reproductive organ of the plant. So flower helps in the reproduction process of the plant, because this flower later on converts into the fruit, and as fruits contain the seeds, these seeds they are helpful to get the new plant. Okay, so these are the different parts of the plant. And one more thing we had learned in the last lecture, according to the diversity concept, there are 3 types of the plant which are found around us. Which are they? You can see here: autotrophic plants, heterotrophic plants and insectivorous plants. Can you repeat the definition with me? What do you mean by autotrophic plants? The plants which can prepare their own food with the help of photosynthesis, they are called as autotrophic plants. Okay. What are the heterotrophic plants? The plants which cannot prepare their own food and they depend upon other plants to get the food, they are called as what? Heterotrophic plants. Now what is the meaning of the insectivorous plant? The plants consume insects as a food material. They are called as what? Insectivorous plants. Okay students, now did you understand about the different variety of the plant which are found around us? And what else we have learned? We have learned that there are 2 types of the leaves. What are the 2 types of the leaves? Simple leaf and the compound leaf. Okay. And again we learnt about the 2 types of the roots. What are the 2 types of the roots? Taproot and the fibrous root. So these are the 2 type of the roots which are found in the plants. Okay. So students, why the classification is very important, that we had already discussed. As I told you last time, in the bookshelf, if books are not properly organized, then we will find difficulty to get one particular notebook or textbook. That's why books has to be kept properly in the wardrobe. Okay, so guys, listen. As there are different variety of the plants which are found around us, so we have to classify them in the proper manner to study about them in detail. Am I right? So you know that up to now information about lakhs of plants has been collected. While studying the diversity of the plants, they are classified for the sake of the convenience on the basis of similarity and the differences in their structure, their organs and their as well as the characteristics. And do you know students, who gave us the first classification, scientific classification of the plant? So you can see here the name of the scientist, Carolus Linnaeus. Okay, so Carolus Linnaeus was the name of the scientist who made the first scientific classification of the plants. So students, remember the name of the scientist, okay? So he was the first person to give us the classification of the plants in the scientific manner, okay? So why classification is important? You can see here in this diagram. We can easily notice that differences in the shape, height of the plants in our surrounding. Am I right? It is easy to classify the plants on the basis of this observation. So now what we are going to learn here in this topic today, we are going to classify all these variety of the plants depending upon their shape, their structure and their height one by one. Okay. So now let's see that one by one. Now students, look at this picture. What are the similarity between the mango and the banyan tree? Can you see the plants over here? The first picture displays the mango tree. Second picture displays the banyan tree. So what is your observation? You can see that this mango plant and banyan tree, they are very huge. Am I right? So these huge plants we call them as what? Trees. Okay, they are very heighted. They are the diameter wise also they are very wide. Okay, so they are called as what? Trees. Okay, so now we are going to learn about trees. So some plants grow taller and taller. Their stem or trunk, it is very hard and strong. They have branches at some height above the ground. They bear flowers, fruit for many years. Such plants are called as trees. Trees are tall, big and perennial. Now what is the meaning of perennial? The trees which can live for many years. Those trees which can survive for many years, we call them as what? Perennial trees. Did you understand now what is the meaning of perennial? Now what we had learnt about? We learnt about tree which is very tall, which is very big and which is perennial in nature. Okay students, now did you understand regarding the trees? Now next, observe this picture now. What is the similarity you found between the hibiscus and the oleander plants? The first one displays the hibiscus plant and the second picture displays the oleander plants. So what is the similarity you see in their shape and the size? Yeah, you can see that these plants are little bit away from the ground. They are not tall as mango and the banyan tree. They are short in height and they are near to the ground surface. Am I right? So the plants who are not that much huge and if they are very near to the ground level, then they are called as what? Shrubs. What we call them as? Shrubs. So here you can see that some plants grow close to the ground. They give out the branches very close to the ground. They are shorter and smaller than the trees, but they have thick and hard stem. The oleander, hibiscus, lantana, roses are the examples of these shrubs. And do you know that students, these shrubs grow up to 2 to 3 meters only. So what is the length of these shrubs? The length of the shrubs, it may vary only from 2 to 3 meters. They cannot grow as much as tall compared to the mango and the banyan tree. They are very close to the ground level. Okay, so these are the shrubs who grows near to the ground level and they are grow up only up to 2 to 3 meters. Now see this picture students. What is the similarity between the fenugreek and the periwinkle plant which you can see here? Fenugreek means methi, the leafy vegetable which we consume on the daily basis, right? So methi, the alternative name for methi is fenugreek. Okay, so what is the similarity between the fenugreek and the periwinkle plant? This periwinkle plant, it is very commonly found in everybody's balcony also. Am I right? So what is the similarity which you see in them? And what is the differences as we learned just now, tree and shrubs? So is there any differences between tree, shrubs and these variety of the plant which is displayed in front of you? Of course, there is differences. The tree was very huge. Am I right? The shrub was 2 to 3 meter long. And here you can see that this periwinkle plant and this fenugreek plant, they are even smaller as compared to shrubs. They are even smaller as compared to the shrubs. Okay. So these plants who are smaller even than the shrubs, they are called as what? Herbs. What we call them as herbs. Okay. So the herbs grow 1 to 1.5 meters tall only. They don't grow tall as much as shrubs grow and as much as trees grow. Okay. So the stem of the herbs are always green. They are quite flexible as compared to those of the trees and the bushes. Herbs may live for few months or up to 2 years. They don't have longer lifespan as compared to the shrubs and the trees. They live just for a month or might be for 2 years, not more than that. Okay. So now according to the size, height of the stems, plants can be classified into 3 types. Plants can be classified into 3 types. What are the 3 types of the plants which we had classified just now? We classified plants according to their size, height and the stem. So, number 1, trees. Number 2, shrubs. Number 3, herbs. May I know what is the meaning of the tree? Trees are very tall, they are very big and they are perennial. What is the meaning of perennial? The plants which can survive for many years. They are called as what? Perennial plant. Now what is shrubs? Shrubs are smaller as compared to the plants and these shrubs grow near to the ground level. Am I right? And what about the herbs? The herb is the third category which is even smaller as compared to the trees and the shrubs. They just grow for up to 1 to 1.5 meter. That's all. So students, right now we learnt about the 3 types of the plants which are commonly found around us. Can you tell me the example of each and every one? Just try to recall what are the examples. What is the example of the tree? The example of the tree which we just saw, that is mango tree and banyan tree. Okay. What is the example of shrub which we just saw? The example of the shrubs are hibiscus plant and oleander plant. What is the example of herbs which we just saw? The example of the herbs are fenugreek and periwinkle plant which we just learnt now. Okay. So I hope so students. So these are the 3 variety of the plant which was classified by the scientist whose name was what? Carl Linnaeus. So Carl Linnaeus was the name of the scientist who gave us the scientific classification of the plant. Okay. Now students, have you seen the vines like pumpkin, the railroad creeper, watermelon or the grapevine? Have you observed any of them? How do they grow? You can see here in this picture, there are vines. What is exactly vines? Vines means what? Climbers. They are what? Climber. Okay. So these vines, how they grow? Do they grow independently or they require any kind of the support to grow? Even at your home also, you must have found money plant. Am I right? So some people keep the money plant in the water bottle and they keep in the balcony or window area. And you must have seen that to grow money plant, we support either wooden bamboo or that money plant will take the support of the window grill. That means the stem of the money plant, it is not strong. The stem of that money plant, as it is not strong, it requires extra protection and it requires extra support to grow independently. Am I right? So such kind of the plants who require extra protection and extra support to grow, they are called as what? Vines. They are called as what? Vines. Even in short, you can call them as a climber also. What is climber? Climb means climbing up. The person who goes up with the help of some useful things, we call them as what? Climbers. So students, what are exactly vines? I just told you now. So vines need vertical support. See, here you can see that vines need vertical support for growing, while some others spread just on the ground, like a watermelon and pumpkin plant. Okay, so they just grow laterally on the ground. Okay, so some vines require vertical support and some vines just grow on the floor. Okay, so climbers like money plant have the aerial roots. Aerial root means what? The roots which are hanging in the air. The roots which are hanging in the air, they are called as what? Aerial roots. Okay students, now you understood the types of the vines. So what you learned right now? There are certain vines who need vertical support for growth. There are certain vines who need horizontal support for growth, and there are certain plants who have the aerial roots for growth and development. So why these vines require the aerial support or vertical support? Because the stems of the vines are weak. Okay, they are weak, they are not strong. That's why we have to provide them extra support for its growth. Now did you understand regarding the vines? So you must have seen such plants in your balcony or somewhere around you in the garden, etc. So the stem of the creeper is very flexible, soft and green. It grows rapidly with the help of this support. So shall we revise once again whatever we have learned today? So what was the name of the scientist who gave first scientific classification of the plant? What was the name of the scientist? Carl Linnaeus. So Carl Linnaeus was the name of the scientist who gave us the first scientific classification of the plant. And what else we learned today? We learned that according to the size, height of the stem of the plants, plants can be divided into three types. What are the three types? Trees, shrubs and herbs. The tree are very tall and they are very wide and they are very strong. On the other hand, shrubs are shorter than the trees and they grow just near the ground level. What about the herbs? Herbs are even smaller than the shrubs. Okay, so these are the three classification given by the Carl Linnaeus. And what else we learned today? We learned about the vines. So we learned that there are certain vines who require vertical support for growth and there are certain vines who require the horizontal support for growth and development. Okay, so we shall continue this topic in the next session. Okay, so bye, take care.